Good evening, and welcome to the kickoff of the Sharbot Lake Downtown Revitalization Project. I hope everyone made it into this event okay, and there weren't too long of lines, and parking wasn't a problem. But truly, thank you all so much for being here. I wish we could have this event in person, but fingers crossed we can celebrate in the spring and break in the new pavement with a proper party. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Adriana Barbary, and I'm your host for this evening, but also the Downtown Revitalization Coordinator. So believe me, after putting this event together, I do not plan on quitting my day job for a life in broadcast. But what I will say is my role and my sole focus is to work with you and the entire community to design an action plan that will be implemented over the next several years. There's a lot of work to do in the next 12 months, but ultimately downtown revitalization is not something just that happens overnight. So in the next few months, I will be connecting with everyone in Sharbot Lake, from students to teachers, business owners, employees, volunteers, seniors, retirees, and everyone in between. I report to the Public Works Manager for Central Frontenac Township, as well as the Downtown Revitalization Management Group, which is newly formed specifically for this project. And I'm just going to add some quick context around that. So the management group is an extension of the Sharbot Lake Economic Development Committee. It includes all of its members. It also includes staff from Central Frontenac Township, as well as staff from Frontenac County. I am also under the guidance of the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Farming and Rural Affairs. That is a mouthful, but I'm really looking forward to getting to know every person in Sharbot Lake. But first, I think before you'll open your doors to me, I'll tell you a bit more about myself and hopefully encourage you to take my phone calls and maybe meet with me safely on your front porch. So again, I'm Adriana Barbary. I'm originally from Maberly. My family's businesses were located across from Silver Lake Provincial Park. It was quite the hub for many years and a super fun place to grow up. The park was my backyard. We live in Perth now, and I have roots and relatives that still are here in Sharbot Lake. I have super fun memories of playing in the ballpark and spending many Canada Days celebrating at the Sharbot Lake Beach. Flash forward, I graduated from Brock University from the Business Communications program. I've worked and lived in Toronto for the past 10 years in digital media sales until earlier this year when I decided to make a big move and make a big career change. So here I am. I'm really excited to have found my way back to the area for this once in a lifetime opportunity I could never have imagined. Anyway, I could go on, but I look forward to meeting you all in person. And so that's enough about me. We're going to kick things off right. Up next is the town crier, Patty O'Connor. I will say you might want to adjust your volume for this. And now over to Patty.
Welcome, citizens of Central Frontenac and friends from near and far. I'm here today to announce the future of Sharbot Lake's Downtown Revitalization Initiative. But first, a look at our past. Today we can take pride in our cultural diversity and the richnesses that it brings to our society. It is second to none. Let us honor our Aboriginal families whose feet have traveled over this land for thousands of years and remain true to their culture. The Kingston and Pembroke Railway, better known as the Kick and Push Railway, was an integral part of the survival of Sharbot Lake and surrounding communities back in the 1870s. The community did thrive from the train services. The Sharbot Lake train station and hotel sat right here in this very location. With the closing of the K&P Trail in 1986, the rail bed lay dormant until the K&P Trail was established, and on the 15th of September 2019, it celebrated a milestone event by bringing trails together right at this location. The trail has made a significant contribution to the welfare of our community, and so now, on to our future. With the current restoration of our streets infrastructure, the potential will be limitless for the future of Sharbot Lake and community. The Sharbot Lake Downtown Revitalization Committee have a bright, foreseeable future for our community, and they are presently working on plans to enhance a potential for the village. Our Downtown Revitalization Coordinator, Adriana Barbary, invites our citizens to take part in shaping the community's future. By sharing dreams, rolling up our sleeves, and by coming together as a community and assisting in designing our future, we will make Sharbot Lake and District a beautiful destination for many and a charming place to call home. God bless this wonderful country of Canada. My lords and my ladies, Canada. It is indeed my honor to introduce Her Worship, Mayor Frances Smith.
Up next, we will have a video from Mayor Frances Smith.
Hello everyone, my name is Frances Smith, and as Patty has introduced me, I'm the Mayor of Central Frontenac. Very happy today to be a part of the kickoff for our Sharbot Lake Downtown Revitalization. This community is so grateful to so many people that we're able to do this right now. Ministry of Agriculture and Economic Development, Karen Fisher, the grant came from the province that made this possible. Our council put in money, and so did the Sharbot Lake Business Group to make this project happen. We have to thank the County of Frontenac for all of the folks that has been involved with this project. Our settlement area is Sharbot Lake. That is where our businesses are housed. This is where people come for services. All of our hamlets are important, and the project that we have going forward right now will be helpful to all of the communities, not just Sharbot Lake. The quality of life here is what people come here for. We have people that buy property after having just driven through, but we have to keep up with improvements. We have our paving and our downtown streets and sidewalks being put in right now. So it's a perfect time for revitalizing our communities. Our businesses have struggled through the COVID pandemic, but the community has done very well to shop local, and our businesses have protected the community and looked after us and kept us safe. This is a very close-knit community, and we're so fortunate to have so many volunteers and local business people who support each other. So it's my pleasure to be a part of this project, and I look forward to all the work that Adrienne is going to do for us and the input that all of the community residents and businesses are going to give us. So congratulations to all those involved, and let's get on with revitalizing this community.
Amazing. Thank you, Patty, for your spirited proclamation and for a much needed energy boost after this gray and rainy day. And thank you to Mayor Frances for your support and that of council, especially, long before I joined this project. You all believed in it and helped make it possible. I'd like to further echo Mayor Frances to focus on the resurgence of local, as it's likely to continue. And we hope through our surveys, workshops, and other initiatives that we can pinpoint not just businesses, but services and physical changes that will benefit the entire community and encourage people to stay, play, and invest local. So before I dive back into our star-studded lineup, that was just a preview, I'd like to share a slide with definitions of downtown revitalization, since many of you are hearing about this for the first time. So at a high level, downtown revitalization is a long-term process of improving, but also balancing economic, physical, and the social well-being of the community's traditional town center. So the Sharbot Lake Village. As you've already probably heard, but I just want to reiterate, Downtown Revitalization is a program through the Rural Economic Development wing, or umbrella, if you will, of OMAFRA. So they provide guidance and support throughout the entire process. Downtown revitalizations have been going on for a long time. They come in various shapes and sizes. So there's really no one size that fits all, but generally there are activities and priorities to strengthen local businesses and encourage investment by business, building, and property owners. Sharbot Lake already does a really great job of creating enjoyable events, public streets and spaces, and I think that's only going to be heightened by the more accessible pavement and sidewalks all around the village. But what's also really important is downtown revitalization isn't just about physical improvements, but also, again, through surveys, we're going to really uncover how we can better provide work and living opportunities that respond to people's needs across various ages and interests. So keeping this information in mind, I'd like to introduce Allison Robinson. She's lived in Sharbot Lake for over 35 years and has owned and operated various businesses. She's the chair of the Sharbot Lake Business Group and a valued member of the management group for this project. Now over to Allison. 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Allison Robinson. I'm a business owner by background for over 35 years in Sharbot Lake, and I've lived here for over 40. I sit as the chair of the Sharbot Lake Business Group, which was formed about 3 years ago. We started mostly as a meet and greet to new businesses that were coming into the area. And from that, the group started to consider things like how do we maintain the businesses that are here, as well as welcoming the new ones. Over the 3 years, a variety of projects have been undertaken. They've all been quite interesting. And one of the projects that has arisen from the Economic Development Committee was the application for a planning grant, the Rural Economic Development Planning Grant. And the group was asked if we would support it by providing $5,000. So as a voluntary group, we went out to the business community, told them that we felt that downtown revitalization was really a big issue for future economic growth in the area. And we were pleasantly surprised by the generosity of many, many businesses, and in a time when they didn't have a lot to give. So raising the $5,000 was very exciting. We looked at things at what the community earns its living via, and small business really is at the core of the economy. In 2016, there were 72 recorded businesses in the Sharbot Lake area, and our 2020 research shows that there's over 250 businesses, and I'm sure we haven't finished counting, within a reasonably short distance of the downtown of Sharbot Lake. The real estate industry has been changing. We see urban migration to rural communities, and with that we see prices going up for homeowners and business people. So it's a very good trend. We're well positioned in this area to be a hub, a focus area for Central Frontenac, which is what this project is all about. Your downtown is the core. It's where people look to see whether they want to move here, whether they want to set their business up here or stay. Future planning is important, so the Economic Development Committee has supported the program that we're kicking off tonight, which is very exciting. We are looking at the migration of people. They're looking for a live, play, and work environment which Sharbot Lake and Central Frontenac will provide. So very exciting times. Tonight is our kickoff for that event. We're engaging the community to participate in all of the research that the next year will generate. Participate, let us know what your vision for the area is. And once we have a vision, we can hopefully produce a strategic plan for Sharbot Lake and the region, but Sharbot Lake downtown is the focus at this point. So we hope you will consider Sharbot Lake your downtown if you live in Central Frontenac. And the 250 people that work in business, your community that you support. Think of the people who work here, support them, and in turn this community will grow strong. Thank you for the opportunity to address everyone tonight, and we're all excited about this project. We hope you are too.
Thank you, Allison. Really enjoy, as always, in our meetings, but that's why it was so important to have you speak tonight, highlighting some really important trends, not only in business growth, but also the real estate market, which can be really indicative of major changes to come. And thank you for representing the management group. I also want to quickly thank all of those that contributed to the Sharbot Lake Business Group's fundraising efforts towards this grant application. Next, you see him all over the township, Public Works Manager Tyson Myers. So I was able to catch up with Tyson in Sharbot Lake. We're going to chat a bit about his passion for this revitalization and some highlights from the infrastructure project that's underway. So now over to Tyson.
My name's Ty and I'm the Public Works Manager for Central Frontenac Township. I'm really excited about the kickoff of the downtown revitalization because when I got into my position here at the township, I walked into an infrastructure project for the Sharbot Lake Village that was already in motion. And the fact that there was an opportunity to get a grant to do a downtown revitalization felt like the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Before I talk more about the downtown revitalization, I'd like to take you on a little tour of our Sharbot Lake Village to show off our infrastructure project that's approaching completion. Jump in the truck and we'll take a look. Standing in front of the OSO Hall in Sharbot Lake are council chambers where council supported the idea to move forward with the grant application. With improved walkability and connecting links such as accessibility from the businesses and the retirement homes on Road 38 to the downtown core, I'm excited to see locals and tourists walking, biking, and using wheelchairs to access our stores, our parks, our museums, the trails, and the beach. As you can see behind me is an area that's recently improved. Before this area flooded and the asphalt was completely deteriorated. On top of fixing the underground infrastructure and improving the drainage and the grading, as you can see in the background, we've created a bike path to connect the village down to the trail. One of the trails heads north to Clarendon Station and eventually gets you to Calabogie, and it's just recently been improved so you can bike all the way to Clarendon Station on a smooth surface. The other trail goes to Perth, connecting our community to another community that just recently had a downtown revitalization. My vision is to see one day people walking on these streets, shopping, picnicking, biking, hiking, and being able to come into Sharbot Lake all ways. I'd like to thank everybody in the community for their patience throughout this project. I know it's been a long, noisy summer for everybody who lives in Sharbot Lake or close by. I'd also like to thank Frontenac County for all their help and support with the grant application, and they've been here the whole time with us. I'd like to thank the Sharbot Lake Business Group for all the work they've done leading up to this and their vision. I can't wait to see our downtown revitalization coordinator pull all this together so we can reach our common goal.
Thank you, Tyson, and as well as the township for literally paving the road to revitalization. It's so amazing seeing some of these final touches coming together, and I hope that you are all enjoying the village and are really feeling the momentum, especially as we launch this project. There couldn't be better timing. At this point, I'd like to switch over to a slide to showcase the 4 fundamental priorities of the revitalization. So there are 4 key priorities that it's my responsibility as well as the entire committee to balance as equally as possible in the culmination of an action plan. So these include economic development, leadership and management, marketing and promotions, and physical improvements. So just a couple key highlights in terms of the types of activities that fall within these areas. Under economic development, we're here and hoping to help existing businesses to maybe target specific market segments in or around their trade area, identify the types of businesses that would really complement our existing mix, potentially develop some clusters within the village or additional destinations like the Cardinal Cafe. Under leadership and management, these activities are, to include various organizations throughout this process. I've been meeting with many different groups since I started and really hoping to find as many opportunities to collaborate as possible. Sharbot Lake has a really terms of our leadership and management capacity. So thank you everyone for doing that work for me. Something I'm really excited about and we'll be showcasing a bit later on in the presentation is a bit more around the marketing and promotions piece, where again, we're really trying to establish a positive image for the downtown, again, communicated in media channels as well as events, and having additional activities that animate the area. Again, Sharbot Lake already does a really great job of this, even in these trying times where so many typical events have to be postponed. And then lastly, which again, we already have a head start on thanks to the construction, are those physical improvements. But beyond, that fundamental infrastructure, other considerations include, restoring historic facades, additional streetscaping, parking, and again, creating safe, walkable environments, more picnic tables, park benches, etc. Sorry, it's me again. So up next, you are going to hear from Frontenac County's outstanding and inspiring Community Development Officer, Allison Vandervelde. Over to Allison.
Hi everybody, I'm Allison, the Community Development Officer for Frontenac County. I'm super excited about the Sharbot Lake Downtown Revitalization Project, and three things in particular. First thing I'm excited about is the development of action plans for specific areas of improvement through this project, and this project's potential to unlock additional funding opportunities in the future to implement those action plans. I'm also excited about the alignment of this project with the completion of the KMP Trail through to and through Sharbot Lake. This is going to set up the village to make the most of increased trail traffic. It'll enhance the village as a trail destination, and it'll contribute to the improved overall KMP Trail user experience, which is really awesome. And then the third thing I'm interested in and excited about is the lessons that we're going to learn through this project, and the potential to apply those lessons to other villages across Frontenac. Really excited about working with Adriana and the project committee through this project, and super excited about the future of Sharbot Lake.
Thank you, Allison. Isn't she so organized? But seriously, thanks to Allison for her tremendous support so far. She's played a huge role in making this program a reality, and we're very lucky to have her also on the management group. So she mentioned action plans. So next, I'll be sharing a slide that covers the official planning stages of the program. So again, as this is a RED program, there's a well-defined process to follow. So in terms of timing, right now, I'm happy to report that we are really just wrapping up that stage one of organizing and scoping. This kickoff event launches us into the next stage, which is that data collection, assessing those results, and really pulling out some key observations based on feedback to different surveys, as well as input in community design workshops and streetscape exercises. And then afterwards, so that's the next few months, and then we'll take that result, turn those into presentations where we really start to drill down into developing goals, articulating and positioning Sharbot Lake against certain priorities, aligning those strategically again with the township as well as the county, and really drafting that action plan and working that through until it is approved. And then the final stage, which is, it says 2 years plus, we are going to have that action plan by August 2021. And within this time frame, we will have executed a few items on that. But ultimately, as you've kind of heard throughout, downtown revitalization is a long-term process. So this will be kind of a timeline and a working schedule that, again, key volunteers, leadership groups can continue to work through for the next several years. So that covers that slide. Phew. But it's actually a really great segue to the next speaker. I decided I should probably consult an expert before diving into this. And I was connected with Brian Grattan of Havelock. So Brian was the coordinator for Havelock, which was part of a 6th pilot community test run of this program back in 2005. So Brian really knows the ins and outs and the, again, long-term nature of this process. Brian lives in Havelock with his wife, Sarah, and has been a lifelong member of the Havelock community. So he was a natural fit for this project as well. But what's interesting and inspiring to me is that since taking on this contract, his career has evolved to include roles such as Economic Development Officer, Deputy Clerk, Deputy CAO, and Brian is now the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Quinte West. So now we're going to jump over to my Zoom interview with Brian.
There are probably some challenges that Havelock was looking to address probably rather quickly. So what were some of those key challenges that Havelock wanted to address?
Say that some of the main challenges that the community wanted to address were obviously facade improvements in the commercial district. The downtown was getting a little bit old and looking a little bit tired, but we certainly wanted it to align with some of the beautification projects that the committee also wanted to initiate. Another key challenge, and likely the most important one, was to come up with a strategy to fill commercial vacancies, and I think this is consistent probably across a lot of communities within Ontario. One challenge that we did have was, and still have, is basically absentee landlords. So sometimes when the landlord's not a member of the community, they're a little tougher to deal with and a little harder to get in touch with at times.
What were a couple of the small wins that were accomplished in that first year, those kind of low cost, high impact wins?
Sure. So community engagement is key. So whether it be a small or large community event, it's certainly important to engage your community members and stakeholders. I'd say our first quick win was a fall community cleanup day where businesses came out, committee members and community volunteers. They came with brooms, rakes, weed trimmers, and some with just gloves and pails to assist in picking up litter and debris and cleaning up the commercial district of the downtown. I'd say our first major quick win came in the summer of 2006 when the committee, in partnership with the Township and Lions Club, were able to install our gateway sign at the West End intersection in Havelock. This was a project that was kind of one of those strategic initiatives that came from the township prior to the committee being formed. It was an item that was brought up in the strategic planning sessions, and just they could never find the right location, and we were able to form that partnership with the Lions Club to get that location. And the township graciously budgeted approximately $15,000 for this project, and with the support and contributions of our local contractors and community members, we were actually able to complete that project for just over half of that cost. So that was great.
Again, special thanks to Brian. That's really only a portion of our interview together. I will be posting full interviews up on the website, but just to kind of take away some key messages, Brian has been such a valuable resource, and I'll also quickly show you some before and after photos of their entryway sign. So as you can see, a huge difference here. The before is really what they did at first, and after is where it currently looks today. So again, just a testament to this process being kind of long-term and ongoing, constantly adding new look and feel to signage and entryways is really important. I thought it was interesting talking to Havelock because, in a lot of ways, we are also off of Highway 7. So I think there's a lot of parallels there. And I'll quickly also say about my conversation with Brian, they shared about key partnerships that were really crucial to Havelock, including working with their CFDC, as well as developing a community improvement plan, in addition to the Lions Club and other organizations. So those are groups I'm still looking forward to connecting with and finding ways that we can collaborate and elevate each other's efforts to improve the overall community. So at this point, I'm going to share another slide, but this is on some of the marketing developments we've made so far. So a bit of background before I jump into this, but feel free to enjoy and have a look. But marketing and promotions was identified early on as being rather lacking and really the most room for improvement. So I'm very excited to share our placemaking logo and tagline, "Find Your Way." So branding is a really nice way to, and a relatively easy activity to start instantly creating a sense of place and belonging for the entire community to hopefully rally around. Branding should also help drive awareness and engagement, and dare I say, some more excitement. We've also collaborated as a group to develop a mission statement that I will read now, should you choose to accept it. So that was a Mission Impossible reference, but the Downtown Revitalization Program will enhance the village of Sharbot Lake as an accessible and welcoming destination for all. The program will build on opportunities to enjoy our natural amenities and heritage and collaborate with local partners in their improvement. Sustainable development and diversity will be at the heart of all economic and social initiatives. So moving on. I know, I hope you guys got chills because I did. So next we'll hear from another member of the management group about community engagement from Mr. Bill Boak. Over to Bill. Go ahead.
Thank you for that introduction, Adriana. My view is that the economic development and community development are nearly inseparable. A sound community must be backed by a healthy local economy, and an economy will not flourish unless backed by a credible community. I'm not sure I believe the old adage of grow or die, but if it's true, where do you start? It's probably not practical to kidnap entrepreneurs from the streets of Toronto, and that's a crapshoot anyway. The only way to bring in entrepreneurs is to make this such a great community they couldn't imagine living anywhere else. So what makes a great community? Many of the things we already have. We have a bank, a pharmacy, a post office, and a grocery store. We have a medical center, a good school, churches, and a beer store. We have service clubs and community organizations, and we have an attractive village core where people take care of their homes and show pride in them. Did I mention we have a beer store? Oh, I did. Our current street work will meet many of the physical needs of such a community. The Downtown Revitalization Project will get us started on the rest. It will help us identify the things that we want to preserve and prioritize the things we want to change. And it will help us build a collective vision for our town in 5, 10, and 20 years. I'm really excited about being able to take part in this process, and I hope you will be too.
Thanks, Bill. And yes, I know where the beer store is. As I'm sure many of you experienced firsthand, Bill is the embodiment of community engagement. He's super fun to work with and really hardworking and smart, and we're really happy to have you on board as well. So committee members aside, it's really important to speak to the real live businesses here in Sharbot Lake. So I've been lucky enough so far to meet with a couple notable businesses and also residents of Sharbot Lake in an interview series I like to call Find Your Way Q&A. So first we'll hear from Greg Rogers of Rock Hill B&B. What do you think are some of the biggest opportunities for the downtown and general area?
I feel very strongly that we have a young and growing arts and artisanal network around us. We have some really great people, great minds that are producing really great things, particularly in the agri-culinary area. And I've felt for some time that just as Prince Edward County is known for its wine trail, and Lanark County is known for its beer trail, I feel that we have the potential to become known for our taste trail. And with businesses like Seed to Sausage and Back 40 Cheese and the South Frontenac Farm Network, I really could see this area becoming a real agri-culinary destination, and would love to see Sharbot Lake really grab hold of a vision like that and use that as a way to draw more attention to the village of Sharbot Lake.
What's your vision 10 years from now? We did an exercise with, I've done with a few different groups where, envision you've just been living in another country for 10 years, which is kind of hard to imagine now. But that you were writing a postcard back to a good friend who's still there, that you just arrived back to Sharbot Lake. Maybe what are some things that really stand out to you, or what's a feeling that you now have? Again, this would be 2030, which is kind of crazy.
Well, I'm very passionate about the tourism industry, and I believe that in spite of the kinds of concerns that people have of being, overgrown with tourists in the summertime, the vision I have is not a traditional vision of a tourism oriented community. It's a vision for one that exemplifies the current and growing trends in tourism, which is very different than what we've been accustomed to in the past. People are looking for hands-on, they're looking for adventure tourism, they're looking for outdoor recreation, they're looking for agri-culinary experiences. And I believe that we can have something that's really dynamic here that fits very much in line with the next generation of domestic tourists and international tourists as well.
Thank you, Greg. Before I move on to our next in the series, Find Your Way Q&A, I just want to say on a personal note that was my first time meeting Greg and Arlette, and then my first time at Rock Hill B&B, and the view is absolutely stunning. Somewhere I'd really like to go. I have to admit, I share their passion for tourism, for outdoor experiences. So where their head's at really resonates with me. And it's something I'm excited to explore further with the community throughout this process. But up next, in all too familiar face, because I go there for lattes a lot, and a staple in the community, Rob Moore of the Cardinal Cafe and Shop.
What do you think are some of the biggest opportunities for the downtown and, of course, the surrounding area?
So the village of Sharbot Lake is a really unique community. One thing that we've learned is there's a lot of experience in the community. So a lot of people who've been living here and working towards the success of the village for 25, 30 years now. So what we're doing is essentially just piggybacking on initiatives that they might have started and putting maybe a more modern spin on it, something that's fresh and new, maybe that wasn't thought of 10, 15 years ago, but the groundwork has been laid for the growth of this village for years before I was ever here. The beautification project that's happening right now is really exciting. It really puts us on the forefront of village lifestyle and taking a small community and giving it a real chance to take itself to that next stage with new businesses and even franchises coming into the area. It's creating this buzz, and a lot of people are learning about Sharbot Lake through the small destination of businesses that we have in our village. And I just think that in the next couple of years, we're going to see a real explosion in interest, in awareness, and in population in Sharbot Lake itself.
So I guess just to kind of wrap things up, especially now that we have fresh pavement on the ground after all that construction, and you can take yourself to a foreign land. This was an exercise we did with some other folks. Imagine you've come back to Sharbot Lake after being away for 10 years in a foreign country, let's say, because that'll be allowed. Sure. One day you'll be allowed to travel again. And what do you see when you drive back in? What would you write on a postcard to that friend that's still in the country you came from? What's the feeling you're getting?
I really do picture Sharbot Lake as an established community. In 5 or 10 years, I think that we're going to see the small holes that are in the village that aren't being utilized right now, spaces like the old public school, spaces that are now kind of still green spaces and not really being utilized, are going to be built up. And we're going to see a complete new life and energy in the village. So I know people don't like direct comparisons, and I don't like doing direct comparisons, but a lot of people talk about us versus Westport.
Yeah.
Westport being a very heavily seasonal community, and things do drop off in the winter. We're fortunate that we have a really strong local community presence all year round in the Sharbot Lake Village, as is shown by businesses like the Farm to Save and Mike Dean's doing so well all year round. But I really see an opportunity for more retail and more foot traffic coming in and expanding the village footprint so that it's not just a horseshoe strip in and amongst a residential area, but there's lots of great spots you can find in the village by walking through where you're going to see retail here and wholesale there, and just really great businesses are going to start popping up in the next 5 to 10 years. So I really see an establishment, and I hope the Cardinal Cafe will still be a staple in the village. One thing that we have learned, we've been told a lot, is that when we started growing this business rather, we felt that we were trying to create a family coffee shop, something that would appeal to the local community. I think that we've been successful in that, and the words that we're hearing is it's become an essential business for the local community. And so all of our growth and goals over the next years will be focused on ensuring the Cardinal Cafe is here for the community for years to come. I would love to see this building and this business outlive us, you know, and just be here in some context to support the local community for years to come. So.
I think you're right. I hope so too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks again, Rob and Greg. It's just so valuable hearing from businesses that are live on the ground here in Sharbot Lake, and especially after the past few months, they're really inspiring. I really look forward to sitting down and connecting online again with all the business owners and residents of the village. I just want to touch on some themes that I'm sure you've picked up on throughout my different discussions. And again, these are only some of the parts of the interviews. There's some really interesting thoughts and visions in the community. But, you know, I want you to start thinking, you know, what do you hope to see, feel, and do here in the future? You know, is it an established village, something like Westport, or, you know, a hybrid, something our own? More retail? Is it, you know, picnic baskets loaded with local artisan products? Freshly brewed beer? Are there more patios? Are people just moving around on their bikes, riding in on their four-wheelers, boating? Do you see people of all ages and abilities enjoying the village? You know, I don't expect you all to start building a vision board, but I do hope that you will sincerely participate in this process, because it's not just about hearing from business owners, and it's not just about economic development. Those 4 pillars encompass, you know, everyone's opinion and everyone's views and everyone's needs to make this a really holistic revitalization that supports people who live here. So that's my plea. I'm going to pop over to a slide to show you the next phase of where we're headed. So I hope that you'll find your way soon to a survey. So we have 3 key surveys coming up that our goal is to complete before the holidays. So again, surveys for residents and property owners, businesses, as well as something kind of interesting, point of origin, which you'll hear more about. There are a bunch of different ways I want to encourage people to reach out to access surveys. And of course, I will reach out as much as possible, understanding these are challenging times. So you can always call the township office to let me know what is your preferred method for the survey. We'll be setting up some drop boxes at key locations where you're probably visiting throughout the week. You've probably seen the email on the ticker in the event, downtown SL, so downtown Sharbot Lake at Central Frontenac. Again, you can email me directly there to request a PDF online, paper, or an in-person survey. We also have a link on the website now. So if you scroll to the bottom of that, you'll be able to subscribe to the page. And every time a new survey is available, you will be alerted. And I'm also really hoping for those of you who are into it, that you will follow and like Township of Central Frontenac on Facebook, because again, that's just another great way that I can hopefully connect with people of all ages in a quick and easy fashion somewhere that you're already spending some time. So again, I'm hoping to see those numbers skyrocket. Please tell your friends. So yeah, so we're about to wrap things up. Again, you have an idea where we're headed, but I do want to quickly share some special thanks before we have some closing remarks and encouragement. So big special thanks, and I hope that they understand how truly grateful we are. The Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Farming and Rural Affairs, as well as Frontenac County and the Sharbot Lake Business Group for supporting this grant proposal. But this show wouldn't have been possible without my lovely volunteers. So everyone who contributed and spent time with me, whether online or in person. And there's a huge thank you to some people that helped on the back end of this. So Wade and Cass Leonard for their amazing drone footage. Unfortunately, I could not include it all, but we will be hosting a lot of that online as well. It's just totally breathtaking. Behind the scenes here is a man by the name of Dave Rotella of Danima Creative Group and Danima Productions, who's pulling all the levers on the back end. I also want to thank Mel Shaw from Central Frontenac for helping with web services and for continuing to help me with my web requests. And I also want to shout out to Andrew Douglas, who I consulted with really early on this process, who gave me a lot of ideas about how to formulate this plan. So thank you, Andrew, and I hope to work with you all again soon. So without further ado, I just want to say a quick thank you, because Brent Cameron is going to take over from here with some really special closing thoughts, as well as a beautiful drone sequence that I hope you take the time to enjoy. Feel free to jot down some notes of your vision if something comes to you in this time. And thank you so much for making Sharbot Lake so special. And I look forward to meeting you all soon. Take care.
Hi, I'm Brent Cameron, and it's my privilege to join you in this kickoff celebration. Throughout the course of this campaign, we are asking you to find your way. But that's not a location you can find on a map. It's a place in time, the Sharbot Lake of the future. What does it look like? What does it have? How different is it from today? This is your opportunity to help shape that vision. So whether it be filling out a survey or submitting an idea of your own, we want to hear from you. We want your input. The work that we do in this project will also help us plan for the future throughout Central Frontenac Township. Every hamlet and village in the township will benefit from it. Now, while we talk about finding your way, in reality, this is a journey we're all taking together. So on behalf of the Township's Economic Development Committee, I thank you for your time and interest, and more importantly, we look forward to hearing from you. Your ideas, your energy, and your initiative are so important to the success of this project. Thank you.